So you're somebody who wants to be a data scientist but don't know where to start? Well, this video is definitely for you, explicitly for you. Yes, you the person who's watching. So let's get started. Hey guys, this is Rishabh, and as I mentioned, in this video we are going to talk about the data science professional roadmap. So if you want to be a data science professional, and more precisely a data scientist, what is the journey which you can take, and what are the different concepts, different skills which you need to acquire in order to become a data scientist. Now, first of all, I would like to talk about certain terms which are very closely related. So there is this field called as AI, and AI has got many, I would say, subfields or subsets like machine learning, like data science, some to a certain extent even data engineering, right? And then we have things like deep learning. I should be writing deep learning first. Actually, let me not write deep learning here. Then when it comes to ML, now ML has got another subfield which is called as deep learning, right? Now when it comes to deep learning has got more subfields. For example, generative AI happens to be a small part coming out of deep learning. When we go in depth of a very small specific set of deep learning, what we get is generative AI. The best part is it is not going to stop here. Even in generative AI, we may experience in the coming times that different things are coming. For example, it could be some specialization in terms of generative AI when applied to text, when applied to video, when applied to audio. We may see different subfields emerging. But the best part is that here AI happens to be the umbrella term. And when I talked about the best part is that there happens to be certain similarity when it comes to the fundamentals. Fundamentals remain same. You must have heard this line many times before. So fundamentals, they always remain the same. Yep, I pronounced it correct, remain the same, but wrote remain same. So yeah, fundamentals remain the same. You have to learn certain basics if you want to get into any of these fields, and that is what we are going to cover in this video. Now, you may say that there are many other YouTube videos. You would have definitely seen many videos. I also have seen a lot of videos. Then what is it that we are going to do differently in this video? Well, let me answer that as well, because it is very important for you to understand why is it that you should be giving your time to this video, right? Now, we are going to learn to build the custom roadmap. Why is it important? Why is it important for you to have, okay, let's call it a custom roadmap. Now, why is it important for you to have a custom roadmap? Let me tell you some of my experiences. Well, I have actually trained hundreds of people in technologies like Python, in technologies like Pandas, and even some of the machine learning and data science libraries. What I have seen is that people tend to learn differently. What works for someone may not work for the next person, and you may have to change the techniques. Some people learn things by going straight into the code. Like, as long as they have not seen the code, they won't understand anything. Then there comes a tribe of people who understand just by reading through the stuff. Then there are people who will say that give me some links to YouTube, I'll just watch them. Then there is another set of people, they will say that I can only learn by watching the online courses, by following certain online courses, I mean. And then there are people who will say that just refer me a book, I'll read the book, I'll go through the book, and I'll come back to you. And that's why it is important that the typical way a person learns is very different, and therefore the roadmap needs to be very different. You need to know, first of all, you need to be aware that what is it that works for you. Because if you are a fish, as somebody very rightly said, that a fish should not be judged by its ability to climb the tree. So you have to understand whether you're a fish or you're a monkey or you're some other tribe. Now, please understand that I'm not trying to literally mean that you're a fish. I'm just trying to give you this example that you have to understand what category suits you the most, what is your style of learning. That is one part. Then comes the other part. If you are a beginner, then it is very easy to get confused, and I'm sure this customized roadmap will be helpful to you, because I will talk about what you should be doing if you're a beginner versus if you are somebody who has been doing coding for a long time and you just want to make a transition to the data science field. And believe me, things are very different in the two scenarios. So before I get more into the content, there is one point of caution. Again, I would like to talk about one point of concern, and it is that be very careful about who you are taking advice from. It is very important. Now, if you are somebody who has never written a piece of code and you are going to a programmer for advice, believe me that the kind of advice which you get can be very different than the kind of advice which you will get from somebody who has been like you, who has been in the same situation as you are presently. They may be able to understand you better. So what I'm trying to say is that be careful who you ask for advice. It may demoralize you at times, or it may give you false hopes, which may later on disappoint you. So it is very important that you do your own research, and that is the true agenda of this video. I want to tell you how you research, how you know more about what is it that you're looking for, and how do you acquire the skills. Cool. Now let's go ahead and let's talk about what are the essential skills. Because the roadmap is designed based on what skills you want to learn, and it is very, very important. So if I have to talk about the skills which are required for this kind of a role, that I'm explicitly talking about machine learning and data science. Now I want you to know that a role like data engineering may be slightly different here. I will talk about those differences. So first of all, let's focus on data science and machine learning. What if you want to be in any of these roles? What are the things which you have to be good at? If I have to talk about the very first thing which you have to have a fair understanding of, then I would say it is mathematics. You have to have a fair understanding of mathematics. If you happen to be someone who has been scared of mathematics from the school times, then you may really have to reconsider your choice of coming to the data science field. Because if you are ever going to do anything fairly complex or any useful project, you may sometime have to you may at some point in time have to deal with mathematics. So now that I have already told you the scary part, that you have to be good at mathematics, now I want to tell you something very interesting, that you don't have to do mathematics like you used to do in your school or university. You don't have to solve mathematical problems, and that's the best part. Let me write what I mean. So understanding, understanding is important, but you may not be good at solving mathematical problems. What is important from the machine learning perspective is that you understand what mathematics is all about, what the concepts are all about. What concepts are essential? Let me actually briefly mention them as well. So things like algebra, things like calculus, things like stats, things like probability, and I haven't seen the use of geometry in machine learning or data science, even though I have seen it in purely gaming context. But yeah, so these are the important topics when it comes to machine learning. You should have a good grasp of these topics. Now, it doesn't mean that you have to sit and solve calculus based problems. I don't really mean that, and this is where a lot of people go wrong. When we say that mathematics is needed, it simply doesn't mean that you have to sit and solve mathematical problems. What it means is that you have a fair understanding of what exactly a derivative is, what exactly exponents are, what exactly logarithms are, and what exactly things like integrals are. You should know about terms like gradient, descent, what exactly is it. Now this is when I say conceptual understanding, you should know what these concepts are, and nobody will ever ask you to sit and solve a problem. But why conceptual understanding is important? Because you need to know that where exactly can you apply what concept. If there is let's say given a concept X, what problem can you apply the concept X to, and having this basic understanding is important. Now comes the good part. If I talk about, so before coming to the good part, if I talk about what exactly machine learning is all about, or what exactly data science is all about, I mean, it's really all about mathematics. It's all mathematics. Mathematics served to you in a beautiful way. It's all abstracted in I would say in the form of Python libraries. So what you see are all Python libraries, but what's under the hood, it's all mathematics. Now the good part is that if you have got a good understanding of the mathematical concepts, you really don't need to be very good at sitting and using those mathematical equations or deriving those mathematical equations. All that is absolutely not required, to be honest. But knowing what mathematical concept will be applicable to a given set of problems is very important, because you must have heard about things like hyperparameter tuning, or optimizing the parameters of an algorithm. If you will not be having mathematical understanding, you will get stuck at things like that, even though there are libraries which abstract all the mathematics. So as I mentioned, so for example, you want to calculate, let's say, sine or cos of something. You will be having functions for that. You want to calculate Fourier transforms, you want to calculate gradient descent, you want to calculate exponents. Python has functions for everything, or any other programming language for that matter will support most of these mathematical operations. But it is important that you know that if this is the problem, then this is the mathematical concept which I need to apply. If you don't know that, then it is problematic. So don't be scared, don't let mathematics become a barrier, but at the same time, know that it may be crucial to your success in machine learning. Now comes the next question. Should mathematics be the first thing which you should be learning when you are transitioning to this data science field? Many people will say yes, but I would like to disagree here respectfully, because if you start with mathematics, there is a high probability that you may get consumed by the complexities of mathematics, and you may miss the real idea, which is that you have to become a data scientist. You don't have to become a mathematician, and therefore please don't start learning or your journey towards data science and machine learning from mathematics. Rather, start it with something which I'm going to talk about next, that is Python. So Python happens to be the next thing which you have to definitely know about. If you are a Python programmer, there is a high chance that you can still fit into the industry at some role. If you know good amount of Python, people will hire you. Now, purely from a job perspective, this is the most important skill to have if you want to transition to the data science career or machine learning career. So having a good understanding of Python is very important. I really can't stress it. So what exactly in Python? Well, as I mentioned, you need to know about things like pandas. You need to know about things like, let's say, scikit-learn. You need to know about things like TensorFlow, even though TensorFlow is more suited towards deep learning. And then if you are doing something which is specific in nature, like if you want to do something around, let's say, natural language, then there are things like NLTK and so on. Okay, now before going ahead, let me also talk about where exactly you should be going, where exactly should you be building these skills, and it is very important. And let us also now come to a point that what if you are already aware of this thing called as Python. So even though I have written mathematics first, but if we have to talk about roadmap, so let me actually give this heading here. Let's write roadmap, and the first thing should be Python in the roadmap. Only then mathematics, right? Okay, and when it comes to Python also, we have started writing the general libraries here, the libraries which are mostly used with data science. But what if you are somebody who has got no background in Python? Then the very first step for you would be to learn Python programming. And let me be a little selfish here and let me tell you that on this channel itself we have got a Python verse series. It has got more than I think 40 videos which talks about the basics of Python. You can definitely follow that video series in order to learn Python if you're trying to learn the basics of Python. And feel free to reach out to us at any time if you face any problems with Python, because that is what we are experts at. So did I say experts? No, we shouldn't be using such terms. I should probably take my words back and I should simply say that we know Python and we can help you with that. Cool. Okay. So then comes mathematics. As I mentioned, that understanding of mathematics is important. It's not that you have to sit and solve mathematical equations or derive mathematical results, nothing like that. Machine learning is all about mathematics, which is abstracted away with the magic of Python. It is kind of hidden. So if we have to call mathematics as a scary ghost, then I would say that Python is a very, very beautiful angel, and mathematics is hidden inside of that beautiful angel. So understand this thing in this fashion, that Python will always help you to even make your mathematical concepts clear, because it becomes very easy to read the Python code. If you can read the Python code, you end up understanding how exactly mathematics is converted to programming, right? Okay, now you can probably say, some of you would have started thinking in your head that, boss, you have given so many names, but you haven't talked about where exactly we can learn these things, how exactly we can get started. That's a good question. Well, if I have to talk about where exactly should you start your journey, let me actually give this heading, where to start, and let's just make this subtitle perhaps. Yeah, so where to start is an important question. Now a lot of people will say that you can follow certain YouTube channels, but I'm so sorry, I'll have to disagree here. If you are a very beginner kind of a person, or you're at a beginner stage, then I think YouTube may actually confuse you more than helping you. The best thing would be to take up a single course. You can take any machine learning course. Let me just go ahead and let's just search for machine learning courses. So here also seems like this is an important one. I have personally taken this, and best machine learning courses online. So Udemy actually is a great place and it's not very expensive. So as you can see, they are selling the courses for $549. Oh yes, this is an interesting one. They're saying that this is a best seller. So yep, why not this? Now the best thing about this course, even though they have given examples in both Python and R, but I think learning from this course can be very helpful. I'll tell you the reasons. They actually give you the feeling that you are working, and they actually start getting things done from the very first video. They start introducing the Pythonic libraries to you, and just after watching, I would say 9 to 10 videos, you will start getting that feel. So yes, when you're acquiring any skill, it is very important to keep giving our mind a boost from time to time, because acquiring a skill like machine learning is a psychological battle which you have to fight against your own mind, because you have to form certain neural connections there. And it is always a great idea to keep telling lies to your brain that we are very close now. And I think this course can be a great start, because it gives you that mental boost. It gives you that feeling that, hey, we are getting closer to the goal of becoming a machine learning engineer. Whether this course is if you ask me whether this course is the end, the answer is no. Once you have completed this course, only then you can say that, hey, your journey has started in the field of machine learning. So this is a great course to start your machine learning journey. Let me see if we have got anything else. The reason why I'm suggesting this one is because I have personally purchased this one. I have seen the videos from this one, Maybe there are others also which are great, but I would still like to recommend this one only. And believe me that I have not been paid by the authors of this course. I'm still recommending it, so they should probably thank me. These are the people, they are great people, they are teaching great content, so heads off to them. Let me just mark this link here. So this is a great start. So this is our first link. Yeah, so learn from them, and I'm not paid anything. I'm sad about it, so but it's okay. Yeah, so this is a great course, and again, I'm not sad because I think I have already taken a lot of value from this course. It's an amazing course, only for a beginner. Some of things I think can be outdated, and our language is not used that much in the industry. When it was 2015 or 2016, there was a kind of a battle going on that whether Python will win or R will win, and I saw a lot of people in industry using Python, a lot of people in academia using R. But now even academic setups, they have started to use Python. So Python is kind of having this dominance when it comes to machine learning. So yes, so now that you have started, now you have, let's say you have done this course. Now this when you're doing this course, your purpose is like, your objective is very simple. You have to go through all the videos, you have to see what exactly they are teaching. Whenever they are coding, you also have to write the code. This gives you a very good idea about what are the different libraries which are used. It will give you certain key terms like things like regression, things like clustering. These things will be on your lips now, because you have gone through this course. And now comes the point when you're ready to take your skills to the next level, and that is where you have to look for something like this course. This is by Deep Learning AI, and actually let me go and see my purchases, because I think I purchased this course by Mr. Andrew NJ. It's a great course, and oh my god, I have done a lot of good stuff. But yeah, this is the one. Quite interestingly, I took a long time. Oh yeah, I think we were on the same only. It has got its name changed. So it was initially just machine learning, but now this is called as supervised machine learning, regression and classification. I think it has been converted to a specialization, is what I can see from here. So this is you can enroll from here. What are the different modules? So these are introduction, then regression with multiple input variables, then classification. Where can I see whether this has been converted to a specialization? If you can already see it, I'm not able to find it. View course modules, 15 hours is the time. This is beginner level, and I think this is taught by Andrew NG only. Recommended if you are interested in machine learning. They are showing more courses. No. Okay. But let me actually share the link of this one. I'm still not convinced. I hope you're okay with me spending some time searching on the video. I'm not going to edit this part, but I really want to give you the best which I can, so it is important. So you are getting this shareable certificate. Let me search for machine learning specialization on Coursera. Okay, machine learning course, and okay, 3 courses. I think it has been converted to a specialization of 3 courses. Yeah, this is the one which you should be looking at. Now if I talk about courses, it has got supervised, advanced learning algorithms and unsupervised, and I think in advanced maybe they are talking about things like neural networks. Yes, this is exactly what you're looking at. This is a great course by a great instructor. Now Andrew NG happens to be one of the, I would say, main figures when it comes to artificial intelligence and machine learning. This guy has inspired millions of people, and he's the co-founder of Coursera. So yes, you should definitely listen to him, and he talks about great detail. He actually goes into the details of things. But now is the point when you will start realizing, after watching this course, when you go to this course, you will see that you will start to see the mathematical side of things also, and that is when you may actually start to feel that okay, I'm missing somewhere, or perhaps this is not what I understand, but I think that is something which is perfectly okay. When you are learning something new, you actually have to build new neural connections, and it's quite helpful. So bear with this course. This is a great course, and this should be the second in your journey. So this machine learning specialization is must watch for anybody who's starting their journey into this data science and machine learning field. So I have mentioned it here. So this specialization comes to be your second thing, right? Cool. Now is the time that you will start seeing a lot of terms, a lot of these mathematical terms. They will start coming in this course only. Now that you have done both of these courses, like let me tell you a very basic human nature. You will be having a level of excitement in the beginning, then you will start feeling monotonous, and then there comes a time when your interest level goes down, down and down. Now it is important that you understand that this is very natural. I mean, it's not that something unique is happening to you, or you are becoming the Spider-Man and you are experiencing changes in your body. That's not the case. It's very natural. Every data science professional has been through this journey of frustration, of high adrenaline levels and lower levels at the same time. Let's say you have done both of these courses. What next? So if you have done both of these courses, what is it that you have for sure understood? You have understood general idea about the field of machine learning and data science, and you have definitely executed certain codes. You know about certain Python libraries and certain mathematical aspects also, because when you do this course on Coursera, it will actually take you in the details, in the mathematical details of different algorithms, and that's a great thing. Now, before I suggest you my course number 4, there is a step which is involved. So let's talk about it. Let me search Google for it. Mathematics for machine learning. This is again another great specialization from Imperial College London, and it actually has got all the courses. Like, it talks about things like linear algebra, multivariate calculus, learning PCA. So this is a good I would say this will give you a good understanding of how exactly mathematics is being used in machine learning. So you can see what are eigenvalues and eigenvectors, basics of linear algebra, transformation matrix and linear algebra, and similarly it will talk about calculus. I just want to see whether they are covering the concepts around statistics and probability also. No, I don't think in this course they are covering it. So maybe what we can do is, this one is definitely recommended, but before that I want to see mathematics for machine learning with statistics and probability also, because it happens to be an important thing. Okay, so complete math, statistics, probability for machine learning, probability and statistics for machine learning and data science. Let me just go ahead and click on this one. So understanding statistics and probability is very, very important. So it says probability and statistics for machine learning and data science. It takes approximately 23 hours, which is not a big deal. And it will definitely give you a good understanding of the concepts, like things like, let's say, probability distribution, and describing probability distribution and probability distribution with multiple variables, sampling, confidence intervals, and hypothesis testing. These are important terms now. Now these are the typical data science terms. You will see that there are algorithms around this, and similarly if you see, you have got calculus for machine learning also. Now the decision here I'll leave to you, that to what extent can you grasp these things, to what extent can you go in depth of these things. So the decision will remain with you, that you have to learn. Like, after this step, after you have taken the initial 2 courses, you have to decide whether you want to go in depth. What is wrong with my spellings of mathematics? Okay, Google is still not happy. Okay, and if you want to, then let me suggest you should be learning more about probability and statistics, right? And apart from that, you should be learning, again this is also good to learn about mathematics, multivariate calculus in PCA. But even before this, I think I would like to recommend something like this one, that is calculus. So it's always good to do these courses individually, because you know that they are going to be very focused, right? Knowing calculus is important. So gradients and gradient descents, derivatives and optimization, optimization in neural networks and Newton's methods, these are very, very, very important things, not only from the machine learning point of view, but from deep learning point of view as well, because deep learning is nothing but neural networks with some, I would say, neural networks on steroids could be a great term to describe deep learning. So yeah, this is an amazing course. You should definitely take this one. So let me just go ahead and yup, so this is done. Cool, awesome. So now we have done some basic courses, we have done some sort of machine learning. Now is the time to move ahead, to go to the next levels. Now what is the next level? Well, if you see that after doing these courses, you will again start to feel that, oh, I am not able to understand. Therefore, it is important to mix these concepts with something which will keep telling your brain that, no man, you can do it. Please go ahead, please go ahead, please go ahead. So we need to mix these Coursera courses. Now, again, I would want all of your focus here when I'm saying this, that when you're doing Coursera courses, you need to add something to that mix. You need to do certain other things in parallel. Why? Let me give you an example. When we are small kids and when the doctor wants to give us a medicine, they usually these days what they do is, I mean, not only these days, even when I was a kid, they used to give you strawberry flavor on medicines. They used to give you certain flavors on, let's say, mango flavor on the cold medicine, because they don't want me to drink that bitter. They don't want me to feel that the medicine is bitter, and they don't want me to spit it out of my mouth. So what they do, they mix the strawberry or the mango flavor on top of it. So similarly, when you're doing Coursera courses, which may come slightly, you may feel them slightly heavy on things like mathematics. So it is important that you mix them with something which will again encourage you. And I have got something for you on that front, and it's called as Data Camp. And again, one of the, I would say, best platforms when it comes to doing things hands-on. Now this is going to give you a great boost. They have got, okay, let's do the exploration. They have got a lot of different things here, but what we should be focusing on is, let me go and see, learn about AI. Yeah, data scientist path, machine learning scientist. Let's click on data scientist. Let's see what all courses are there. Can't we see all the tracks? See all the courses, see tracks. Let's see. Okay, they are talking about R programming. Let me actually filter by Python. Yes. So Python fundamentals, importing and cleaning data, data manipulation, machine learning fundamentals, time series, statistics fundamentals, data visualization, image processing, Python toolbox, big data with PySpark, Python programming, marketing and analytics, deep learning, and so on. Now the best part is that when you are doing data camp, you have got videos. Okay, now let me perhaps tell you once again that I am not promoting data camp. I am just sharing with you what I have myself done. And the good part is that they are actually running this 50% sale, and I think, oh wow, that's great. You are getting it only for $75. And believe me that I have myself purchased this platform in more than this. I think I remember purchasing this platform paying maybe somewhere close to $100 or $80, something like that. Even though I also purchased when there was a flash sale going on, it was a sale going on. And believe me, after this video, I may actually consider buying this, because hey man, you're getting 50% discount. And another disclaimer, I'm not associated with Data Camp. I'm not associated with Coursera, but I just want to spread good ideas, and these guys have done some amazingly hard work to build these platforms, and we should definitely utilize them in our learning. So yes, and it's if you see that the best part about this data camp is that you have got videos, and after videos you have to write the code. Okay, I shouldn't be revealing my personal information here. Yeah, so you have got videos where people talk about, or the instructor talks about, that what is it that you need to do in that specific exercise. Then you have to go and write code. Now if you mix Coursera courses on mathematics with this, it's a great combination. Why? I'll tell you. So let's say you are learning a concept from Coursera. It will always be very heavy on details, and it may become very difficult for your mind to grasp all those details in the first go or in one go, and it is very easy for the mind to get demoralized. That's the job of your brain, to feel demoralized all the times, and it's your responsibility to ensure that you're always feeding it the right information. And you may actually lie to your brain that, hey, don't worry, we are going to make it. Because learning about machine learning is a process. It takes 6 to 7 months, and you can't get away without actually walking step by step on these concepts. But yeah, this is a great way. If you combine a slightly difficult course with something which can come easily to you, it becomes a great combination. Now the best part about Data Camp is that you don't have to install anything. All of the environments are already set up by them, and the instructor will come, they will explain things in the video. Then based on what they have taught, you have to write some code. If you don't understand what you have to write, you go and watch the video again, because most of the times the concepts which they have talked about in the video are the concepts which you have to write about in the code. And I think this is great, because not only you are learning about the concepts, but at the same time you're getting the practical exposure to how exactly you have to write the code. Now you can actually take it to next step. You can install the environments in your local machine, and you can try to replicate what you are writing. Okay, so this amount of dedication is very, very important. So I think this is a great idea. If you mix these two, it's well recommended. So let me write it down here. And by the way, if you watch the video today, you should definitely make the use of the sale, and maybe Data Camp ends up noticing me that I'm promoting them, even though without just with good intents for now. This is data, actually this is with R. That is not what I want to share with you. Let me search the same thing with Python. So we are interested in what? We are interested in learning about becoming a data scientist with Python. That is what I want to share with you. So again, this is a great course, and if you're really serious about this field of machine learning and data science, be willing to spend some money, because the money which you will earn will far outweigh the kind of money you may have to invest here. Because data scientists and machine learning engineers, they are earning huge amounts of money these days, and it's well worth learning these skills. These are futuristic skills. Awesome. So we have discussed the kind of skills which we need, the kind of courses which we can do in order to acquire those skills. Now is the time. I'm assuming once you have done these things, let's make a special point of time consumption also here. That what do you think would be the time which you will take to complete the above? So what do you think? First of all, I think this course should be given 15 to 20 days. You may say that I can complete it in 2 days. Well, that's great, but feel free to give it 15 to 20 days. Don't give up, right? Then comes this machine learning specialization. Feel free to give this 2 to 3 months. It's okay to give it 2 to 3 months. That's the kind of respect you should be paying to this course. It's slightly difficult, right? And as far as this probability and statistics and calculus are concerned, again, you can actually give them the kind of time which Coursera is asking for. Let's say the calculus one, it's asking for 90 hours approximately. So it depends. If you're spending 1 hour daily on this course, then you will be giving it 90 days. And similarly, the idea is that you can check the time. So here it is saying that 2 months at 10 hours a week. What did I write? I think I also wrote 2 months only, perhaps. Yeah, 2 to 3 months. Again, depending upon what's the kind of time which you are willing to give, but decide upon these things before that. Okay, at the end of the 3 months, this is what I'm expecting from myself. Don't do it like, on one day you are spending 5 hours or 6 hours, and on the next day you are not giving it any time at all. Because I have actually read a great book which is called The Brain That Changes Itself. It's by Norman Deutsch. Let me show you the book. The Brain That Changes Itself. It's a good book about human brain. You can buy and read this book. And this book talks about the plasticity of the brain, and it definitely takes some time for the brain to adapt to certain changes. And this actually supports the fact that if you are learning at the same time every day, it will be having much more impact than if you are learning in irregular fashion. And you should definitely take out a time. And believe me, if you give your interviews at that specific time only, you will perform much better. Let's say you have been learning things at a time something like morning 10 a.m. to 12 a.m. 12 noon I mean, so 10, 11, 12, 2 hours. And when it comes to interviews, your interviewer asks you that what is the suitable slot which you would like to give your interview at. You can simply say that I would like to give my interview at 10, because that will be very helpful. You can actually read this book. If you don't believe me, it's a great book, talks about how exactly the human brain changes itself, and something worth reading, I would say. Cool. So time which will take to complete the above, you have to take a note of that. Take a note of this time. I'm so sorry, when I'm talking it becomes very difficult to write because my brain is kind of not my brain doesn't like that, it wants to talk. So yeah, take a note of this. So take a note of this time so that you have a clear understanding that okay, by the end of 3 months I really want to be here. This keeps you focused, and focus, as you know, that attention is all that anybody needs, whether it's a concept, whether it's a human being. You have to give attention if you want to get something in return, right? Awesome guys, so this is what will get you to a very good level when it comes to machine learning. But whether you will still be job ready or not, I really can't guarantee you. Yes, that's true, because getting a job needs something even more than this. Let's now look at what is it that you need to do if you want to get a job in this specific field. But believe me, if you have done this much, there's a high chance that you will already get a job by now. But still, I want to focus on a few more areas which will be very helpful when it comes to grabbing a job. Now, first things first, there are some essentials of computer science. Now, these essentials of computer science are something which are expected out of any computer science professional. And so if you know about these things, they will be very helpful when it comes to getting a job. When you're going to the industry, they expect you to know certain things. For example, Git and GitHub. What exactly is Git? What exactly is GitHub? You have to know about these things because all the code in most of the organizations, it lives in Git repositories, in something called as Git repositories. So what you can do is, like, I don't think I need to go and search each of these terms on Google in this video, otherwise video will become very long and you will most probably skip the video before reaching the best things which I have discussed in the video. So that's why let's try to keep it as short as possible, even though it's still going to go long. But yeah, Git and GitHub is something which you should know about, right? Then you should know about what is a terminal and what are some terminal commands. And if you are not aware of Linux or Linux operating system, I should probably write. And to be more specific, you can look for something called as Ubuntu OS and know about some basic terminal commands, right? You should know what is SSH, what are RESTful APIs. Now, RESTful APIs are important, as I mentioned. I think I don't remember whether I mentioned, but whenever you build a machine learning model, in order for people to gain value out of that machine learning model, you have to design a web application around it. Now think of it like this, that for a layman, machine learning model may be a bitter medicine, right? So you have to abstract away that bitterness by something like a web application. Just like, look at this ChatGPT interface. Who can tell you that, you know, there's actually a machine learning model behind this? For most of the people, it's just some magical thing where you just post your question. And so for example, you can say design a machine learning roadmap for me. Let's see, it will not even ask you that how experienced are you or anything like that. So it has actually given a general roadmap for learning, and quite interestingly, it is talking about linear algebra, calculus, probability. Wow, it is actually validating whatever I have said so far in the video. That is great, even though I had absolutely no intent of this is not the planned part of the video, to be honest. Yeah, so it's saying Python most popular for ML. That is so true. NumPy, Pandas, and Matplotlib. I think I missed talking about NumPy, which is again very important. Okay, then foundations of machine learning. All of this I think you will be covering in the courses which I have already talked about. Okay, intermediate, and then deep learning. That's great. By the way, I forgot to mention one of the libraries. Actually, let's talk about the packages and libraries which you should know. Yeah, I have already mentioned things like TensorFlow, and there's one thing which I think I should write. Keras is also very important when it comes to things like, let's say, doing deep learning on things like images, etc. I have used Keras at some point in time. So yeah, I was talking about the fundamentals. So as I talked about that, knowing about RESTful APIs is important. What else? Well, Git and GitHub. You should know what is a cloud, because a lot of machine learning happens on cloud these days. So it's important to have some fundamentals clear that, okay, this is cloud, and you have got multiple types of clouds, like you have, public clouds, for example, AWS, GCP, and Azure. It would actually add value to your resume if you know these terms, if you know about the basic services which are offered by these providers. For example, you should know that what is compute, what is storage, what is, let's say, networking. These are some very small little terms. I'm not saying that you have to be an expert at these, but know them enough that you can talk about them when some interviewer asks you a question. So it's not that you have to spend a lot of time in these things, but try to invest at least 1 month. This is something very minimal I'm saying. Even though if you spend more time, I think you can actually build yourself a great career. But try to at least spend 1 to 2 months, I should say, understanding these fundamentals of the computer science, right? Awesome. Now let's say you have done these few courses also. You have taken all these courses. You have done Udemy, you have done Coursera, you have done DataCamp, and you have taken some essentials of computer science also. Like for these essentials, you can simply follow YouTube also. That's not a problem, because this is something you will easily find on YouTube, or otherwise there are so many different resources which are available online. I'm sure you will be able to search all of them. In case you face any trouble, feel free to comment below this video. I'll be more than happy to help you with that. Now comes the next point. Once you are aware of some computer science fundamentals, then comes the next level, and that is where you actually have to start research for, or let me actually write it this way: research your dream companies. Now, when I say research your dream companies, what exactly do I mean? Well, I simply mean to say that you shouldn't be working for any company. You should actually see that what is it that the companies where you really want to work, what are the things they are working on, what are the different tools which they are using, and this will help you to actually crack those companies, and this will actually help you to take your skills to the next level. And once you're hired in your dream company, I think there is absolutely no looking back. You become a different person altogether, right? Now I really want to give you an example of how exactly you should be conducting this research for your dream company. It is very, very important, I think. So let me go to LinkedIn, because LinkedIn has become the job portal these days. Like the LinkedIn is a modern job portal, and all the jobs are available here. So machine learning jobs, let me write, and we are only interested in jobs. So here you can see a lot of companies are hiring for machine learning. They are saying solution architect. Let me write just machine learning, perhaps. Let me search again. We are looking for data scientist or machine learning, perhaps. Okay. Elasticsearch, staff software engineer, product solution engineer. Is there nobody who's hiring for a machine learning or a data science role? Let me actually write data scientist. Yep. Okay. Lead data scientist, for example. Boston Consulting Group, BCG, is hiring a lead data scientist. Let's assume that this is what you dream for. You want to be a lead data scientist at BCG. Now let's look at what is it that they are looking for. Be very much focused on this part of any job description, because this is going to tell you that what are the skills they are going to look for in you. So experience in core analytics methods, one or more of the following. So you should know what is a t-test, what is ANOVA, variable education, FAPCA, segmentation clustering techniques, then geographic clustering recognition and manipulation techniques, predictive modeling, for example logistic regression, linear regression, network analysis, location allocation, traveling salesman problem, vehicle routing problem. Now if you see that there is something very interesting here. When it comes to network analysis, when it comes to things like traveling sales problem, then vehicle routing problem, these are more of graph problems. But because we are talking about the lead data scientist role, so they are definitely having these kinds of requirements also, where you should know how to analyze the network, you should know about time series analysis, you should know about random forest, then neural networks. So if you see that almost everything is given in this job, that in this job description, that these are the skills which you need to have. And the very first thing which you should do, I mean even before applying to this job, you should actually copy these things, you should paste them here, and then you should write the skills I know, and skills I don't know. Now let's say I don't know what is ARIMA model. Let me just click it here, let me copy it. Then the next thing, or perhaps I can ask ChatGPT that what is an ARIMA model. Now this is the real research, right? Now let's say somehow you got selected, your resume got shortlisted for this company, even though the chances will be very less as long as you are not having all these skills in your resume. But even if it gets selected, but then later on you are not able to clear an interview, that's very painful. It's very painful. You shouldn't be going through that. And the only way to avoid that is to prepare very hard, prepare as hard as possible. So these become your keywords for your next level research. Now there may be things which you have not seen in any of the courses, because believe me that machine learning and data science, they are so vast that no courses on earth can actually cover all of the topics, right? So it is important to keep your research mode on if you really want to crack something like machine learning. And they have actually written a lot of resources, they have actually written a lot of concepts, because we are talking about lead data scientist, right? And then there can be other data science roles. This is a data scientist manager. Now let's look at senior data engineer. This is data engineer, and they are also looking for staff data scientist, computer scientist, senior data scientist. Let's look at what is expected from a senior data scientist. Okay, cool. So as you can see here, that a BTech or Masters in Engineering Technology with around 4 to 6 years of industry experience, or perhaps if you have a PhD with 3+ years experience, you have to be a problem solver at heart. And then proficiency with Python is important, PySpark is important, and BigQuery is important. Now comes a new term. What is BigQuery? You may ask, what is BigQuery? Now I talked about 3 cloud platforms like Azure and GCP and AWS. You will find BigQuery associated with one of those 3 platforms. You can go Google it now. Cool. Then proficiency with ML libraries like Scikit, PyTorch, TensorFlow, Spark, MLlib, and so on. Similarly, good knowledge of commonly used design patterns in data science, right? So whatever happens to be new, cloud friendliness. I think I already talked about this in my document, that you should know about GCP, Azure, and AWS. Then having good communication skills, influencing skills, mentoring skills is very, very important, because a lot of times you may have to influence not only stakeholders, but in some scenarios you may have to train big teams of data scientists. So you have to be very clear about things like giving feedbacks, taking feedbacks, and talking to people, inspiring people, influencing people. So communication skills, they are very, very important. And inclination to high ownership and commitment. You have to learn to own things, but these are the things which may actually come with experience, right? How to own things, how to commit to something, how to raise the bar when it comes to your role. All these things can be learned while you're doing the job, but still, in order to get there, I think this is where your research starts. You research these terms, and you can actually showcase that you already possess these qualities, right? So for example, how can you showcase that you possess good communication? Connect with the relevant people on LinkedIn. I'm sure there must be the job poster who exactly posted this job. I don't think we have got any details here. 6 connections work here. You will always find the connections who work in that specific company, right? Even if you don't find, what you can do is you can actually do a search on something like, let's say, hiring manager, and the company is Walmart, right? Or let's just search for hiring manager perhaps, and let me do it on LinkedIn. So let me say hiring manager, let me search, and then what I can do in my search is I can simply do, let's go to, oops, I didn't want to do this. I have to search people, but what I want is current company. Yep, so current company has to be Walmart, right? Yes. So now if you show the results, now you will see people who are hiring in Walmart. As you can see, senior engineering manager, right? I'll search for hiring manager, it's showing engineering manager, which is not a problem. Then Walmart International senior manager. So you can try to connect with these people. You have to be very respectful when you are going to try to connect with these people. You have to be respectful of their time, and therefore this is where you have got the opportunity to showcase your comm skills, craft your message by taking help from ChatGPT, but don't make ChatGPT to write the complete message. You can actually frustrate the next person if they get to know that they are reading something which is written by a machine. Nobody likes to read something which is written by a machine. You have to showcase the human emotion side of it, right? You have to tell them why you want to connect with them. Be very specific about the things. The reason why I don't want to go deeper in this topic is because I don't want to cover the communication part in this specific video. We are talking about the journey of a data scientist, but communication is very, very important. So yep, awesome. So this is how you have to this is one of the ways of researching your company. So when you research your company, you have to see what exactly the people there are doing. Like for example, let's look at this profile randomly. I don't know this person, but somehow through my video, I think I should probably hide this when I'm doing the editing of the video. But yeah, so you have to look at what exactly is it that people are doing. Are they contributing to open source? If they are contributing to open source, what exactly their contribution is? Can you also ask them to be the part of their open source project? Now, this is how you have to build your connection even before you send your resume to somebody, because that's how you build the credibility, the commitment, etc. Right? And I mean, this is the part of how you have to research your dream company. Even though I think it would be a great idea to make a dedicated video on how to research your dream company, but it is an important step. Just learning is not enough. You have to go one step ahead, right? And similarly, when it comes to the cloud platforms like AWS, GCP and Azure, you have to choose one of these and be willing to spend another 1 to 2 months on exploring one of these platforms and see what kind of services they have got to offer. Now, why I mentioned that researching your dream company is important. Let's say you find out that your dream company works using GCP or your dream company works using AWS, then you know that what cloud platform should you be investing most of your time in. So let's say if your dream company works with AWS, then you know that you have to spend your time with AWS. So spend another 1 to 2 months with AWS, and in this way you have actually reached a fairly good understanding. In about 7 to 8 months, you have attained a certain level, you have acquired certain skills which makes you job ready. And now is the time when you have to start showing yourself to others, when you have to start promoting yourself to others through different things like articles, like videos, by directly trying to reach them. You can perhaps take LinkedIn Professional, the premium account for 2 to 3 months, in order to in-mail people that, hey, this is what my resume looks like. These are the projects which I have done. I forgot to mention that during this period of 7 to 8 months, when you are learning about machine learning, you should actually be doing a lot of projects also. Even though most of the courses which I have talked about, they will actually walk you through certain projects, including things like DataCamp and Udemy. But at the same time, it would be great if you try to do something on your own also, based on the skills which you have acquired, and it will really add a great value to your resume. It will allow the hiring managers to shortlist your resume over others, because the more value you generate, the better the probability that you will get hired. Understand that there is nothing called as luck. The more you work towards something, the better the probability of you getting there. And absolutely nothing else. It's a game of probability. You have to increase your probability by taking more and more steps. So yes, I hope now that we have covered a lot of content, I hope after watching this video you will have a fair understanding of how exactly you can get started with your data science journey, how exactly can you start the transition from any other career to a data science oriented career. So yes, this is all I wanted to cover in this getting started journey. I mean, in this getting started video, like getting started with the transition. There are definitely other points. I don't think I was able to cover all of it in this single video, but I'll keep on making videos based on your response. If you like this video, if you find this video valuable, you can let me know in the comments. You can connect with me over LinkedIn, or you can join our new Discord server as well, where you can ask questions and I'll be more than happy to answer all of them, and we will keep on making more informative videos. But yeah, this is it for this video. I hope you liked it. Please like, comment, subscribe and share it with anybody who you think can get some value out of it. I'll see you in the next one. Until then, take care and bye bye.